Chapter 17, Part 2, 6th of March 2019, 10:45 a.m. I've got a kicking hangover, Mr. Diary. I was not in the right frame of mind to be writing in you last night. Again, I thank God for the dictaphone. If everything was left to memory alone, I'd lost. What was meant to be a couple of drinks and a serious interview turned into an all-nighter and a very enjoyable, informal chat. I was okay until the lock-in, and then the spirits started pouring again. It's a good job I wasn't required to start early today. I don't think I could have crawled out of bed, never mind trawled the city. As it is, I don't need to. Deborah and Ricky, I might be cursing you this morning, but I could have snogged the faces off you both last night. Maybe I did, I can't remember. Listening to the recordings on the dictaphone and looking through the photographs on my mobile has helped bring back the memories of the night. I went back into Ernie's just after 6, as promised. It was busier than it had been earlier in the afternoon, and Deborah waved to acknowledge my arrival, but was too busy at the bar to chat at that time. I took the opportunity to look at some of the pictures on the wall. I recognised Ernie and Robbie in a lot of them, but none of the other people in the pictures looked like celebrities. I certainly didn't recognise them. In one, Ernie was shaking hands with a tall black man. The man wore a t-shirt with incredible feet emblazoned on the front. Numerous others showed group shots with Ernie and Robbie, or just Ernie, sat in the middle at the front. The Incredible Feet t-shirt was noticeable in quite a few of the pictures, but the people wearing them were hardly good adverts for the brand. Scruffy, toothless, and even shoeless, some of them. Other photos had dates or captions underneath. Ernie and Frank, 1957. The Featherstone Brothers and Ernie, 1958. Worth the Wait, Carol Jones, 1960. Glyn at Ellis Island with Robbie and Ernie, 1961. In some pictures there was no sign of Ernie or Robbie, just long queues stretching around the park, presumably customers. I scanned the pictures with dates on, looking for the most recent. I could see a 1963 and then a 1965, but nothing more recent than that. In one section, over the fireplace, most of the photographs were in colour. These showed a much younger Deborah, posing in front of the bar or in the park opposite. She was with a handsome young man. I guessed it was Ricky, and this was later confirmed for me. These pictures were dated between 1981 and 1989. From what I could make out, the bar must have been opened around the start of the 80s, with a party in Ernie's honour. I must have been looking at the walls for a good 20 minutes before I felt a tug on my sleeve. "The landlady's calling you, son." I looked around to see an old gent smiling up at me and pointing to the bar. "I'm pleased you came back. Maybe when you finish talking to those two, you can come and have a chat with me. I have a story or two for you. I knew Ernie." Still in a bit of a daze, I promised I would seek him out after speaking to Deborah and Ricky. I wandered over to the bar, and there was already drink waiting for me. "That's Patrick," she told me. "Nice enough guy, but he can bore a glass eye to sleep." "Did he know Ernie?" I asked. "I'm sure he did," she replied. "Everybody did. Those of a certain age, anyway." She walked over to the end of the bar and beckoned over a skinny chap who was engrossed in the baseball on the TV in the corner of the room. "Max, watch the bar for me, will you? Earn your minimum wage for once in your life. I need to go upstairs with our guest for a while. Make sure you check the notes and count the change out. Use a calculator if you need to. If the register is short at the end of the night, the money's come out of your wages again." Max tutted and walked back to the bar, behind the bar to do his duty. "Come on through to the flat, Paul, love. I love that boy to bits, that son of mine, but he's a lazy bastard, and the customers will run rings round him when I'm not there to keep an eye on him. That said, I can't mother him forever. He has to learn to stand on his own 2 feet. This is more important than a few bucks, anyway. Come on through." The flat was up the stairs, above the bar. Deborah, a slim, glamorous 50-something, led the way, flicking switches to light up the gloom. "It's a bit of a shithole at the moment. I do apologise. We have our family home uptown, but we use this as a stopover during the week. It's not ideal, but it saves battling with the traffic. At the top of the stairs, she turned left, and I followed her down a short hallway. Hi, honey, I'm home, she called out as she pushed open the door to the flat. A grey-haired man in jeans and a white t-shirt stood to greet us, holding out a hand to me. This is Ricky. Ricky, meet Paul, said Deborah, getting the introductions out of the way. When we shook hands, I recognised him immediately from the pictures in the bar. Older, yes, but definitely the man standing in front of the bar in the 80s photos. Deborah's told me about you, he said, smiling. Please, sit down. I sat beside him on the sofa and wondered just exactly what she had said about me. She came to join us after cracking open a new bottle of malt and started to pour healthy measures into 3 glass tumblers on the table between us. I put the dictaphone down and asked permission to record again. Ricky asked me a few questions about my findings up to this point, and I filled in the blanks that Deborah had omitted. Deborah was already topping up the glasses again by the time I had finished. Now it was my turn. The transcript of the interview is recorded below. I've taken out the bad language, as funny as it was. I asked, when did the bar open? Has it always been called Ernie's? Deborah. We opened the bar in late 1980. It had been closed throughout the 70s and was lying derelict. In my previous life, it was a bar called The Iron, named, I'd guess, after the Flatiron building across the park. It was burnt out sometime in the 60s, and any nostalgic pictures of the place were lost. It is in its prime location, though, and it was going for next to nothing at the time. It was a gamble for us even then, but it's paid off. We used all our savings and time to make our dream come true. But we got there in the end. We named the place. We knew what the name would be even before we started work on it. So why Ernie's? I asked. Ricky. The man was a bit of a legend in this part of town. He still is, as you can see from the decor downstairs. As you know, he set up his business just across the road in the park with his mate, Robbie McNulty. The two of them started with nothing in what is normally considered a low-paid profession. Outside work in all weathers. Many people view the shoeshine boy as a bit of a dog's body, a bum, a nobody. That's how it must have been for them too. But not for long. Not for long at all. Slowly but surely they changed the perception of the job in this area. The two of them were just incredibly popular. They just seemed to put people at ease. They made them laugh. They made them feel special and wanted. People gravitated towards them. Customers returned regularly and brought friends. They spread the word. They even brought extra pairs of shoes to be polished just so they could sit and chat for longer. The queues could sometimes stretch around the park, but nobody complained or moaned. It became an experience, a novelty, a community even. Even people not getting their shoes polished used to come along to the park to enjoy the atmosphere and chat to newfound friends. Honestly, you've never seen anything like it. It was friendly and fun, a golden age and a brilliant time for those on the east side. The rich mingled with the poor and everyone felt as one. It just struck a chord with the community. In this area, Incredible Feet was as well known as some of the coffee shop chains we all frequent now. Honestly, that's no exaggeration. The lads must have been working 15-hour days at this point and were making good money. It even attracted the attention of the New York Times, as you know. That would have been enough on its own. But I had an extra incentive to dedicate the name of the bar to Ernie. My father worked for him.